At home and abroad, we're always with you at radio90fm.com.
All right, folks, it's 11:25, and we've been telling you all morning that we were going to have some guests in with us today to talk about the Champions of Business. It's an event that is coordinated by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. So we'd like to welcome Rachel Stamfley. She's the operations manager of the TNT Chamber.
Good morning.
And we have with us two of the awardees from last year. They actually were awarded the Startup Entrepreneur of the Year 2017. They're the founders of Twinks Naturals Limited. We have with us Nigel Jordan and Cheryl Ann Baptiste.
Good morning. Good morning.
So good to have all of you here with us this morning. So Rachel, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about the Champions of Business. I mean, we're kind of familiar with it here at Caribbean Lifestyle Communications, but, you know, we have people who may not have heard of it before.
Well, Champions of Business is an award ceremony that recognizes the achievements of various business persons in different aspects of business. It's started out in 2005 in a modest ceremony in the Chamber's boardroom, and it recognized Leon Agostini as the first Business Hall of Famer. The awards have since evolved and has expanded into from not just recognizing the Business Hall of Famers, but has now recognized persons who are entrepreneurs like our guests Cheryl and Nigel, and emerging entrepreneurs, another category in the entrepreneurship field. That last year, that award was won by Jules Sobian from Caesar's Army. Then there's another award that covers and recognizes companies that are successful in the export arena. That award is called the Internationally Known Locally Owned Company of the Year Award. That is sponsored by First Citizens. I should add that the Entrepreneurship Awards are sponsored by EY. And we have a final award which we are now introducing this year, which is the Business Technology Award, which is sponsored by B-Mobile. And of course, we have no winners from last year because this is a new award. The Business Hall of Fame inductees, those awards are retained as a chamber award. So I also want to add and thank, before we move off, as we're talking about sponsors, to thank Agostini's, Atlantic, and the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation for being our sponsors this year and making it happen.
Yes, always have to thank the sponsors. So, Richard, we are going to come back to you so that you could tell us, you know, how the whole nomination process works. If I wanted to nominate somebody, if that's possible, what is the criteria, that kind of thing. But I want to get to Nigel and Cheryl. Now, I read a little background from the Chamber's website about your business and how you started up. Twinks Naturals. Tell us about it. What is it? How did you start off? Let's hear your story.
So, I give credit to my son. At the time, it was a typical Sunday afternoon, something to do with the boy sort of thing, and it evolved from going in the yard, picking stuff to make tea. We had a little peppermint plant. I actually had a few other little aromatic shrubs in the yard, and it tasted good. So we used coffee filters and ribbons, and minutes later on the phone with Cheryl, this thing tastes good.
And that's how the idea was born in terms of, and then the name. We always we are both very nature seekers and that type of persons. So when the name, it was like Twigs, and Twinks Naturals, and that's how, you know, because nothing is as basic as making a cup of tea with twigs.
That's true.
So that's how the name Twinks Naturals was actually conceptualized and born.
So how long ago was this really?
Today is the 25th of July. The 6th would officially make it 2 years.
Wow. And in just that's a short space of time to get everything off the ground and to have already been an awardee from the chamber.
I think we've been truly blessed, not just around the type of products that we have, but even after winning the award, the exposure interacting with established persons within the chamber, established businesses within the chamber, we get a lot of good feedback, a lot of advice. Just sitting in the room when there are seminars and that kind of thing, it's really allowed us to grab as much information, and it has catalyzed the movement into where we're at right now.
So this is the thing, apart from having a good idea and maybe a bit of know-how, you need to get yourself out there. And I mean, because going to the seminars, the conferences, that's educating yourself on how to enter the business world.
Definitely. And that is one of the things we really have had as a strong point, where we do a lot of work with Export TT. Nigel did work with Kariri. We have NAMDEFCO, that some courses they run and so on. So we have done a lot of education, a lot of courses, and as well as we have a lot of support. We are very fortunate where even the chamber helps us. They would contact us. We have this coming on, we have that coming on.
Right.
We think it's wise for you all to be a part of it and things like that. So we are very fortunate as well in that sense. And as well the connectivity. For a lot of the events we do, we are able to gain a lot of connectivity that other people who are willing to share.
Yeah.
And we are able to share as well. So it's a two-way stream in terms of the sharing and being able to gain knowledge as well as give back.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And that's some of the things that you look for, Rachel, is it? When you're looking?
Yeah, each of the awards carries its own set of criteria. And but one of the things that we tout, I don't know if I'm answering the question, but one of the things that we push as a value for being nominated as towards the Champions of Business, and of course being awarded, is the ability to network and connect with influential persons who can take your business to the next level.
And I mean, that's it. I think that's important for people to understand, because they feel, I've started a business but it's not going anywhere, and they wonder why. And then they say, it's not working, or it failed, kind of thing. I think they don't really appreciate the value of networking and getting out there.
And that is really a very high point, the networking, the support systems that you put in place and things like that is what really drives you. And of course, having your dream, as Nigel will say, that is his dream.
Yeah.
And really being able to have the support to be able to leap out there and do what is necessary.
Yeah, and I see from your information that I got off of the Chamber's website, 6 seasonings, 16 different teas, 4 trademark blends. This is all in 2 years, folks. Just keep that in mind. And apart from being an awardee of the Chamber, Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, you also got an international award. You're recognized internationally.
Yes, ma'am. We're the proud holders of 2 awards at the Global Tea Championships 2016. We won in 2 categories.
Yeah.
The first Caribbean brand to win an award in this competition. The mint, our mint, what we would see as growing in the yard, regular stuff.
Yeah.
But we've applied a wonderful twist to it with the help of one of our farmers. They use aquaponics, so it carries a very different flavor profile. And then the preparation we add to it kind of tweaked it a bit. That gave it a third place in that particular category. The only tea to win in that category for the year. So we would have gone up against individual teas, for example, a rose hip or a lemongrass, or other mints from different parts of the world. The other is one that carried a bit of creativity. It's called Caribbean Christmas Tea. It's a blend of wild hibiscus, or what we know as sorrel, and anise seeds, or the common name would be anise seed.
Yeah.
And it's prepared in a nice balance, and that gave us second place in the herbal single serve blended category.
I mean, when I read that, I was like, okay, first I didn't know there was a global tea championship, but this is it. You all are getting out there fast and furious, and that is so, I mean, it's so admirable. And then apart from doing that, you're already starting to give back. You were involved in a project, an empowerment project.
Yes, Veep. That's a project with the Vetiver Empowerment and Enhancement Project for Paramin, where what it entailed is that the hills of Paramin is very slopey.
Yes.
And through Vetiver TT and UNDP program, they came together and created Veep. And we got informed about it, and we joined in as part of the project, where it's about education about using the vetiver plant as a retaining wall during the rainy season. But it also helps in terms of keeping moisture and so on the land during the dry season. That's the roots, and the roots is an excellent replacement for camphor balls. So instead of using camphor balls within your clothes, you use the vetiver root as
I used to use that little bunches.
Yes,
the little bunches.
Correct. Yes. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then the leaves are used as a craft. As a result of that, we learned how to do baskets and other handicraft through the program, and as a result of combining that along with our teas and Nigel's qualification as a tea taster, a tea technician, we are now able to have an event called Craft Tea, where what we do with that event is we host individuals or companies, corporate companies, where we give them opportunity to understand the tea tasting, as well as incorporating that now a craft and or some special event that the company may have. So for example, if you have a product launch or a team building exercise, tea is an excellent way of being able to create that memory for the learnings that you would have gained.
And I see that you're already keeping it environmentally friendly.
Definitely. Our product is based on the environment.
Yeah.
And even from the packaging that we use is reusable, resealable. The labels that we put on the packaging comes from post-consumer material. If we do a tea station, a nice little setup where we do cups, covers, sleeves, even that as well, those elements are biodegradable, compostable material. So it's really a little ecosystem of sorts.
Yeah.
And it allows for us to give back, not just from a business perspective, but specifically to where we're taking our raw materials from, the environment.
Yeah.
That's one, just to jump off of a question that you asked earlier about it's one of the things that we look for. Nearly every single one of the awards, I think actually I'm correct myself, all of the awards, there's a CSR component that is considered heavily in the scoring of who actually gets the awards. So it's not just about doing well, it's about giving back and being a responsible, contributing corporate citizen.
And that's what it should be. What are some of the other criteria for nominees?
Well, we used to have a stipulation for one of the awards, which I would have had to point it out, which was internationally known, locally owned, the Export Award, that was only for chamber members. That has now been changed as a result of a meeting that we had last week, that we felt that we needed to open it out, because there are so many companies out there that are doing great work and looking to expand beyond our borders, including Twigs. I know that we had a conversation just now. So to start off with, anyone can be nominated for any of the awards. Each of the awards, as I mentioned, carries its own criteria. If I go through each one, we will be here for about an hour.
For a long time. But everything's on the website. Yes, it's so easy to use on the website.
Everything is on the website. So all you have to do is go on to Trinidad and Tobago Chamber's website, www.chamber.org.tt, and you go on there. There are two sliders on the homepage, which makes it super easy, which say nominations for champions of business. Just click on the image, any of the images, and you will go straight through to the criteria nominations page. Select and read through and see which ones you want to.
Forms and everything.
Yep, everything is
right there
on there, and you just email it in, and that's it. We will have our meeting towards the end of August, and by September we will come up with a list of finalists. A very select group of panelists are brought in, which includes some board members and prominent members of the business community.
So the internationally known and TNT-owned Company of the Year and the Startup Entrepreneur, those are the deadline for submission for the nominees.
Right.
That's on July 30th.
So Business Hall of Fame, internationally known, locally owned, and the two entrepreneurship categories, the deadline is Monday, coming up Monday the 30th of July, midnight. So you have all this weekend and all of this week to consider and fill out the information. If you don't have all of the information, you can submit a partial nomination, and we can help you through the process of completing the rest of it. The technology award, because it's a new award, the deadline on that is the 17th of August at midnight.
Okay. So, I mean, we're almost out of time already because this twig story is so interesting. I want to have Nigel and Cheryl back at some point. Where can we get Twinks Naturals?
So we are available at gourmet stores, pharmacies. So you have like Starlight Drugs throughout Trinidad and Tobago, Fresh Organics throughout Trinidad, as well as in Tobago through Twinks Natural, in Sweet Nothings, all their locations, Price Club in Shogunas.
Okay.
Herbs and Health in Gulf City Mall.
Monroe Road has vanilla bean. So we have a nice spread throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow. I just think it's amazing that you all got all of this started in 2
years.
I mean, is that common among your nominees? Rachel?
Well, that is one of the things that we like to see. In fact, one of the things I was going to plug in is that each of the awards actually evolves into the next stage. So an emerging entrepreneur can end up becoming a candidate for the internationally known, locally owned award. And there's so many companies now in startup phase that are digitally based, whether it's a web-based company, whether it's an e-commerce driven company. So there as well can be seen not just in the business technology sphere, but also in the emerging technology sphere. And services can also be considered for internationally known, locally owned. So,
it's fantastic.
and then after how many years, tenure, you can be a Business Hall of Famer.
They're going to be for sure. Come on.
It's really important to know that just being a nominee as well on its own carries a host of exposure. Your business is seen not just within the business community. You're able to be seen nationwide as something of worth, something of value. Your product, your service, you're able to present your business in a real 360 view, and that's what I think. Even just us being part of the awards fraternity, for want of a better word, gives. So any business that you think, friend, family that carries, that you believe carries that sort of value, nominate them. Come go straight on and share the word.
Wow. So amazing. I know it might be a little bit out of the realm of the whole interview, but as we have you here, any words of inspiration or motivation that you can give, not just young people, but anybody who is looking to start up their business and now getting started?
Believe in yourself. It's not surround yourself with people who will support you. You will get the naysayers, but you find those who will say yay. And those who are genuine about the yay, and that will give you the support. Have something that adds value. Have something that stands out, that is different to the regular, what you're accustomed to. Maybe just as simple as your packaging. Maybe as simple as a value add. Those are the kind of things that would help. It's not going to be an easy road. But stick with it. Seek the advice. Listen to those who are already successful. You'll find, because as Nigel said earlier, we are usually in rooms with people who are in business 25 years, 30 years, 10 years, 8 years. But we have been very fortunate in that respect where, you sit in the room with these people and they share, and don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't be afraid to listen.
I think the hardest part is starting. You have to start first.
You have to start.
And that there's fear, there's insecurity, there is ignorance. You may just have no information at all, but you have to start. And once you start, that's step one towards success.
Wow. So, Rachel, any last words? We want to remind them of the website. This again is for the champions of business to submit your nominations.
The website address is www.chamber.org.tt. On the home page, there are images that are on a slider. 3 of them are dedicated towards the nominations for the Champions of Business Awards. Click on either of them. They will take you directly to the page and just help promote somebody's business, by Monday.
Yes.
By Monday. And by August 17th.
August 17th for the business technology category.
All right. And then the event itself is in November.
The event itself is at Napa on November the 1st.
All right, so that is all you need to know about the Champions of Business. It is an award ceremony done by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and we just want to thank Rachel and Cheryl and Nigel again so much for coming in and sharing your wonderful story. I really think I need to have you back with us.
Just give us a shout, we'll make it happen.
All right, Rachel. So anything else you want to just give them the phone number for the chamber?
The
in
chamber
case they have
is
questions?
637-6966, and you can go straight to the events division. And any questions that you have regarding the nominations and the process, the events division is handling the questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Radio 90.5 FM. Let your heart and soul dance.